A lot of people ask me how I deal with pests, or what's the best way to deal with pests. This is such a common question that it must be addressed. That's coming up next on The Urban Farmer. Okay, so with pests, there's really no such thing as a one-size-fits-all answer. There's no easy answer. It always depends on your climate, the area you're in, the kind of crops you're growing, the season you're in, the gestation of the pest cycle. There's so many variables in it. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. There's a couple things that are very common. I would say there's two things that are absolutely common for pest management in organic agriculture. So keep in mind that I'm not talking about just bugs. We could be talking about mammals like large, deer, rodents, rabbits, all kinds of stuff. So the two most common things are for insects. One is an insect netting. So this is just called an insect netting. There's different gauge size of it. So you might get an 80-gram insect netting or a 40-gram or whatever, and that will prevent the bug from landing on the crop. So that's very common. The other one that's super common is fencing. As far as mammals go, it's fencing. So that will keep out your deer or your large animals, but it might not keep out your rabbits and gophers or marmots or rats or things like that. And when it comes to pests like that, it's simply trapping or hunting. That's just the reality of farming. If you've got a marmot in there eating all your crops, you got to take care of it. And you can try to be humane as often as you can, but I mean, I had a marmot eating my carrots this summer. He ate $300 of lettuce and carrots in a day, and I couldn't catch him. I had a live trap there. I tried everything. I had to borrow my neighbor's pellet gun and take care of that little bugger. So didn't like doing it, but it's kind of the nature of farming. And really the other thing is just proper management. So first figuring out what the pest is that's causing the problem, doing some research about that pest, figure out when its gestation cycle is. Maybe you can avoid planting that crop during that gestation cycle. So that's a really good one. And so, myself, when I plant kale in the growing season, I will usually pull it out of the ground by July and August because the aphid pressure becomes so heavy that I just don't want to deal with it. I've got other crops growing at that time. I can go a month and a half or 2 months without kale. It's fine. I can totally willing to accept that. That's my strategy. Another one that I do is I call it defensive rotation. So if I get one pest becoming a problem at one plot, say it's flea beetle on my bok choy, I'll start planting bok choy at another plot and then stop that one there so that the pest, it won't follow me around in a city because there's all these physical obstructions. So that's one thing I do. But, I would say the best approach is to just learn locally what other farmers and gardeners are doing, learn what your local pests are going to be, and then just do some simple research on what the best way to manage them is. For myself, I've never used any organic sprays. I don't bother spraying anything like that. It's just all physical management. So it's either picking the pests off, avoiding when that crop is planted during the gestation cycle of that pest. Insect netting is the most common one. I do that for all my radishes and turnips. Just really simple management, but it's all about the context of your farm and learning what your conditions are and how you might take information from somebody else and then modify it for your own situation. So I hope that helps. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. Please leave the comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and please like and share them with your friends.